We're on the Sportscaster. Any second now. We're going to hit it in 3, 2. There we go. Live over on Sportscaster. What's going on, everybody? Sal Vetri here. And today, after I try and fix my lighting, because I'm in a different room right now, but if you're watching this live right now, if you're watching it on a replay, or potentially if I could strip this down for an audio version right after this, if you are indeed watching or listening on the audio version, it's 7:30 p.m. It is Thursday, March 12th. And what we have right now is the round 2 for the Showdown. So I'm going to be taking a ton of questions up front in terms of the pandemic of what is the coronavirus, but more so what is affecting the entire world of sports, a spot where sports have always been an outlet for us, if you will, as a society. It has now turned into a spot where sports we do not have as that outlet, and it's going to be very interesting. It was obviously the, in my opinion, right move to make, and I'm going to fix this one more time, and then I'm just going to let the brightness stay on me for this one. Don't have my other lighting today. But with that said, hopefully round 2 is not canceled tomorrow. Hopefully it's not. Otherwise, the content comes down to esports and comes down to MMA, which is up in the air, and NASCAR, which is up in the air at this point. So with that said, I appreciate everybody who's tuning into this. I appreciate all the patrons. I'm going to shoot over the link to this YouTube right now to the Patreon Discord. So bear with me for a second. But pretty much what's happening is unheard of. It is something that you cannot prepare for. It is something that you cannot prep for. So very similar, I guess you can say, to 2008. What is happening right now is clearly very scary. And I do think, not to be a pessimistic, I do think it's only going to get worse at this point. So I'm going to jump this into here. There we go. That is the Discord. I'm going to be covering a lot more golf for the foreseeable future, which is to be expected probably around a month and a half is what we're expecting. Baseball is scheduled now to start at a month at the soonest. NBA is scheduled to reassess in 30 days, and the rest of the leagues, they're to be determined. The not cancellation. We have yet to get an official word from the XFL. I know Pro Football Talk has been looking around the XFL streets, probably on Twitter, where all those people are credentialed reporters, but they're not. But if it's come out in the last 5 minutes as I was prepping the stream, yes, I do not expect the XFL to play again this year. They have been suspended / canceled, or at least that's what the murmurs are, but nothing official yet from them. So it's going to be heavy PGA for what should be the final, I would say, next 4-6 weeks. There will be a lot of MLB prep content that will be going out on Patreon and the YouTube channel in the form of team previews, which I think is very important, pitcher previews, and then also on the Patreon side of things, NBA team evaluations, things like that, more general aspects of what's happening with the league moving forward as well from this season standpoint, not so much of this whole pandemic, but that's where I'm at. I know MMA, and I'll be taking as much questions as possible. I have a lot of time to be breaking down this second slate and really just looking at a lot of the live stats that you can look at a bunch of different spots. So we'll get into some of that. We'll get into some of the questions for round 2 because there's $100,000 to first for this. So this is something that I'm definitely going to be playing. I appreciate it. Everybody's still tuning in here. Yes, this is for a DFS content creator who is independent like myself. This is a trying and I would say pivotal in pretty wild time. I like the challenge. I've always been up for challenges, so I'm going to tackle it head on by just making more content. So appreciate it. I'm going to just get into the chat right now. Welcome, everybody. What's going on, Plex? XFL is canceled now. We are doomed. Yeah, I mean, man, the XFL was so fun. It was so fun. 3 out of 5 weeks. Ended up profiting around $10,300 in the XFL through 5 weeks. That was profit, not gross. So I was happy for that. Evan says, yo, Sal, it's hit big, not leaving you. I appreciate that. Not the right move. Hurts business. Appreciate you, Evan. Yeah, so yeah, as a content creator, a lot of my business comes from being able to produce content on YouTube and draw people's viewership in, which opens up just third-party advertising deals. And a good amount of it also comes from spots like Patreon, where there's about a third of my income. So appreciate anybody who wants to stick on for that. We have golf, we have NASCAR, we have MMA right now in general. I'll be covering, for now, golf at a very heavy clip and extent. MLB previews in NASCAR, or not NASCAR, and right now NBA over on Patreon. We'll see about NASCAR and MMA, but probably not with just a month or so sample, at least is what I'm thinking. But happy to have questions, happy to take questions, happy to talk golf right now. I have the updated odds Obviously, Hideki just gets absolutely hot with the putter, gaining over 4 strokes, something that guy never does. So yeah, I'm probably, although he's 9,300 and he's in first place right now in this event, it's still not a spot where I really want to play Hideki. The price point is just screaming to get back to him, but the ownership is probably going to say you don't want to go there. The fact that he got historically hot with the putter is going to say you don't want to go there. But a 2-shot lead for a guy who's like the 6th, 7th most expensive guy in this round 2 showdown, it's pretty hard to ignore that. And he was hot everywhere. Like, he wasn't just hot with the putter. It's not like he was just doing it there. Like, his game all around was pretty strong. Like, the one spot where he struggled, if anything, was off the tee, but he was just solid with his ball striking, as always for him. Tee to green game was elite, so he was clicking everywhere, and he went elite with the putter. But if the putter's not as hot as it is, we're not talking about a guy in first. We're talking about one of those T5s, somewhere around there for him. What's up, Sal? No more sports, says Ed Darwin. Yeah, this is insane. So I'm only 23. Maybe somebody else has lived through something like this. I can't relate to this happening ever. Hopefully this weekend hold up. My golf lines are doing as great as now. Yeah, I hope so for you as well. They messed up gambling. They did. The XFL, I guarantee Vince McMahon was in there trying to push for it. I see his point. Create just a ton of market share you could soak up. Not a lot of events going on. Golf would still compete with you, but that's about it. But man, it's just really tough when this disease, and not disease, I keep saying that, but virus is spreading so quickly. MMA is still standing. It sure is. And pretty bluntly and openly, I don't know anything about MMA. But about a month before the XFL season, I didn't know much about the XFL. And it comes down to studying something for 80 hours a week. You get pretty good at it. It's going to get worse. It's going to be crazy tough next 2 weeks. I agree. Don't the flu kill people? Yeah, I'm not here to talk about the flu versus coronavirus. I think it's a serious thing. But let's talk anything in terms of my content for the foreseeable future. It's going to continue to get churned out. I like the challenge. I love creating content. Let's damn do it. People want content. I'm gonna bring it. So that's staying the same. Different style to the content, of course, with not as much DFS. Slates open for NBA, things like that, and XFL. But there'll be content. And then, yeah, round 2. So I'm going to be covering more PGA from a betting perspective, normal breakdowns for the 4-day slate, main slate, and then also some strategy. What'll be mainly probably live streams like this later in the day, podcasts on Patreon as well. XFL is done. Players still getting paid through a season, though. That's good. No, XFL posted a statement already. Oh, they did? Yeah, I was trying to prep this stream for like 20 minutes and answer people on Patreon because I had to make a statement there. Okay, so 22 minutes ago. So this was literally probably the seconds after. Damn. Will not be playing regular season games. However, all players will be paid. That's really cool that they paid them at least. Damn. Am I forced to read books with no sports? It's not a bad idea. It is not a bad idea. I will be surely continuing to read books as I always do. But yeah, man, I think that PGA golf is the most fun sweat in all of DFS, and I say that truthfully. I've been on the record saying that a lot, so I'm excited to get more involved with the showdown slates, especially if the prize pools continue to come up. I'm going crazy without NBA. It's crazy, right? What's the best way to approach my lineup for golf? So, Andre, are you talking about for the second day showdown slate? If you have access to any type of statistics models that show you what happened in round 1, you should look at that. Hideki Matsuyama is not a good putter by any means. He's not a good putter. He gained 4.2 strokes. He was finished as the best putting round in the field. That's why he has a 2-stroke lead. But I don't think that's a sticky stat, putting in general, especially for him. If you're a long-term really good putter, Denny McCarthy, Ricky Fowler, Webb Simpson at this point, yeah, you're going to be okay, and we can rely on some of your good putting performances. But when you're Hideki and you're the leader in the field in putting after one round and you're not that type of a guy, yeah, I want to come off of it. The problem is he's 9,300. Like, he's the 7th most expensive golfer with a 2-shot lead. So even if he has a bad putting round, what's he going to finish? Like T5, T6? So yeah, it's hard not to like Hideki when you're going to get the finishing position points on Draftkings for round 2, but also know that everybody is going to like Hideki. More casuals are going to be playing this because there's nothing else to play, and they're going to say, oh, who's in first? Oh, him? Oh, he's winning by 2? Yeah, I like him. But just keep in mind, like, he had the best putting performance round 1. And it's not something that's sticky. And it was by a wide margin. He gained 4.2, 4.4 in some spots, strokes gained with the putter. Nobody else was above 3.5. Kokrak was in second, finished 22nd, Kokrak did. You talked about Furyk. Talk further on that. Yeah, so Furyk is interesting because if you just look at players, so I like approach play. I always like approach play in terms of just players' irons. I think they're important on Pete Dye courses like this one, where you're going to have just smaller greens, where you're going to have to throw darts, all the sayings that you can say for that. Furyk is somebody that, if you're just looking at, I guess overall, if you're just trying to look at somebody who last year some success here. Where he stands right now in this contest, I'm just trying to pull up positionings. So if you look at Furyk right now, if you're just trying to look at some things that were sticky, we talked about earlier on how the putter was just terrible coming in for this. Right now where he stands is sort of a middle of the pack type of guy. He's priced like that. If you're trying to look for a guy who had upside in some spots, the around the green game was fine, the tee to green game was fine, and you're looking at a guy with experience. So that's if you're looking for really cheap guys. There's other guys down there as well, though. What you want to try and weight, though, is finishing position. So guys that are sort of in that mid-range of, I don't know. At this point, it's literally like a stroke is going to jump you 30 spots because of how many ties that there are right now. But one of those guys who are probably, you can go just 2 under right now, or even 3 under. There's a ton of guys in that range that are 3 under right now. You have Hadwin, you have Berger, who is coming in average to highly owned coming into this one. He's number 1 off the tee right now in this event. He's number 4 tee to green. So a lot of things for Berger are lining up, which you don't get from Berger. And the reason why he's right now, instead of being a top play, he's like in first or second. The reason why he's 7th and probably not going to pick up all that much ownership, you're really not seeing him at a high price point of just 7,200, is because his putter just absolutely was terrible today. Berger ended up, and absolutely terrible is a stretch, but he pretty much lost his stroke putting, and compared to how many people were gaining strokes today, not great. Like, he was 100th overall. So yeah, Berger is somebody that I have interest in getting to. Came in at the exact same price point where he is right now. Comes in as a better putter than what you saw today. Berger is going to be way better than he was today. He ranked 51st coming into the field. He finished in round 1 like 100th. So these are the type of guys that you look for. So for the person who asked me, how do you build just lineups for Showdown? It's a small sample and you're trying to look the day before, but you're trying to take advantage of what ownership is probably going to be in people's perspective and not bank on just outlandish and non-repeatable performances like Hideki's putting. I'm not going to bank on a guy who sucks at putting to be the best putter in the field for a second round. So I'm probably just going to get away from him at a guy who's probably going to be high ownership. That sounds probably like, wow, he's got a 2-stroke lead. How do you not want to get there? But that's exactly why I don't want to get there. I think everybody's going to be doing that. I'm 100% on Hideki for my mains on DK and Yahoo. That's fine. Like, Hideki was coming in at, 8,800 for the 4 main slate, like the 4-day, the Thursday, the full-on event. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, you should want Hideki there. If I'm playing the solo slate, though, and maybe if you have, 100% Hideki, like you said, you just keep riding him. Like, you don't want to root against him because then you're losing no matter what in those lineups. But if I'm coming into this having neutral field Hideki into the Showdown slate, having neutral field Hideki in, my normal just 4-day weekend slate, this slate I'm probably going to just avoid him. Look for other guys I don't know, I'd rather get to a guy like probably Cantley. At this point, he was a guy that I currently have a bet on, so at that point I'm probably just trying to chase myself a little bit as well. Now he clearly finished pretty high. He's right now, he's 5 under, he's finished with a T5, tied right there with Leishman, who was cheap. So Cantley will pick up ownership at this point, but another one whose game was fantastic and a guy whose putter wasn't as great as we're used to it seeing it, 51st in this field. Behind you 110%. I appreciate that, Brian. Yeah, I appreciate everybody who's coming back to me with some positive feedback. This afternoon, earlier this day, when I realized that obviously the NBA happening last night, I was holding out hope that the NBA would come out and say, okay, we're going to be out for a month, but we feel pretty good about it. We have everybody quarantined for 2 to 3 weeks. Doesn't seem like that. A month seems like the low end of it. And then I pretty much knew that everything else was going to get canceled. So as somebody who does this full time, don't have no company to back me up. If I have to go on leave or something, it was tough in the morning, but you can't just stay down on it. I guess you can, but you can't just stay down on it. You got to attack it head on, especially in a spot where a lot of people are at home right now waiting to view content, and I want to provide it. Sal, you should contract out with EA Sports and we could play DFS on simulated Madden games. I would love that. Figure out a way to get me on some sort of esport radar for whoever the esports studs are, and I would love that for sure. What's up, Sal? Definitely sticking with you, brother. Been with you since the beginning. I appreciate you, Cody. You're an OG, my man. I appreciate you. Yeah, and also this month, so I posted on Patreon. It's open to the public in terms of the posts that I made for my content moving forward, and it very much is a storm that I intend to sail through very smoothly and firmly, but I want to hear what people want to see in this month. I don't want to change my whole brand and start touting NASCAR and MMA if it's something that I personally have never really played all that much. I've played here and there, but I don't want to be touting that. But if you want me to accumulate information as I did in very similar fashions for the XFL, where people don't have 50, 60 hours a week to sort of master information. Well, yeah, I can clearly do that, but I would like to stay on brand, but I do also want to make this a democratic process and see what people want during this time. MLB, PGA, a ton of it, MLB, a good amount of it for prepping, and NBA getting in there as well for when we prepare to come back. Draftkings is going to lose a ton of money. Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, NBA is their second most popular sport. PGA is probably third, but I think you're going to see a huge contest for the PGA, big contest for NASCAR moving forward, and the growth of MMA. Pro sports will only tolerate a shutdown for so long. Too much money lost. They will start putting illness waivers on tickets and resume business as usual. Yeah, the issue is, like, I do think it's going to be at least a month stoppage. I don't think it'll hit the 3-month spot. I knock on wood. I think you're looking at a month to 2 months for most of these leagues. Maybe even just 2 weeks is the hopeful news for the MLB from the start of their season. I don't know what to do with all these sports canceled. Yeah. Hey, this is the PGA Round 2 stream and podcast. If you're listening on the podcast version, we're doing a live stream. You can tune in on my YouTube channel. I'll be doing these often. But this is also the coping zone for no sports, right? And it's fun. It's fun. I was feeling a little bit down earlier today, feeling much better right now. And this is good bonding, knowing that it's not just me sitting here thinking all these things in my head. Everybody else is a little bit down as well. Of course you should be. Russell, we used to do this as kids. With Monopoly money, we would just bet who wins. That's funny. All sports package will include what in Patreon moving forward, Sal? It will include, so great question, Cody. It will include PGA. What you get for PGA is the podcast. You get the data sheet. You're going to get rankings. You're going to get, as well as rankings, you're also going to be getting sort of like tiers, like GPP rankings and tiers. I don't play cash for golf, so I won't be having that. And then a betting card as well. But then also, and I don't want to tout betting picks like as if I'm like some Vegas Dave or whatever. That's just something that I'll be putting in there as a casual thing. Like, this is where I bet on. Hit the last 2 weeks. Let's hope Cantley hits this week. But and then also MLB previews. I will also have sort of what I'm doing right here. I won't have a stream every single day for the showdowns for PGA. I'm just not going to be doing that. But I'll also have PGA showdown content, at least one podcast a weekend over on Patreon as well. And then MLB team previews. We're going to be doing the team previews for the MLB over there. Probably 15, 20 minutes per team, talking their pitching. Everybody knows their depth charts. We'll get in through all that. The players that are to be looking out for, the players taking steps back, any injury news, any rotational changes. And then NBA, what's happening currently in the NBA is also I'll be doing. So not currently in terms of the news of the coronavirus, all that. No, I'm not going to be covering that. Just taking a deep dive at teams, specifically at what they're doing, rookies, all that. NBA is slated to lose over $500 million over the next 30 days. Wow, if that's true, that's crazy. Hey, Sal, how are you feeling about the MLB opening day being pushed back? Obviously, I would have liked to not see it being pushed back with so much other stuff being pushed back, but yeah, it seems like mid-April is when the NBA is going to at least consider resume playing, probably closer to end of April, probably closer for all these sports. So it seems like an end of April start to a lot of these sports is coming. Somebody says, does it change any Patreon? So for MLB, there is going to be MLB content on Patreon as soon as the next week, if not less, if not by this weekend. It's going to be in the form of team previews. I'll be doing podcasts for about 15 to 20 minutes per team. I haven't even really tried it out yet, so maybe it'll even go longer if I get more in depth. Taking a look at key stats from last year, taking a look at just players, just acquisitions, trades, injuries, what the rotations look like for pitching, bullpens, everything for these teams to be ready for it when the season comes for both MLB season long, but also DFS. So yeah, there'll be MLB on Patreon. Online poker for me, I bet Sal could crush poker. Wonder if he plays. I don't play online poker. I never got into it. Like, I mean, I'm only 23, so I think I'm like too young for the whole boom. But I'm sure there's people my age that played online poker. But yeah, for me, like I got into DFS probably around 18. Obviously, was in high school and lost at that point. Wasn't a ton of money, like a few $100s, because I didn't have a great job in high school. But yeah, then started taking it seriously around the age of 20 when I was in college, and for the past 3.5 years, almost 4 years now, I've been pretty serious with it. Hit the like button. We need to support Sal, Brian says. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, of course. And if anybody that wants to be viewing the content, it's going to remain as it always has been, crisp, at least strict with the delivery in terms of just providing great content and having it in a concise manner. So I guess concise and quality content, it's going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same, except you're not going to be able to, for the MLB videos that'll be on YouTube or the NBA ones that might pop up on YouTube over the next month, you're not going to be able to take that information and go play a DFS slate, sadly. You will for the PGA and possibly and potentially some other spots. Big baller brand. This might be their time to make it. That's awesome. I'll also be sure to, like, I was already planning on doing 2 streams a week for the NBA, so I'll be sure to throw those in with PGA. I'll be maybe just throw one of those in midweek as well. The young guys seem to be playing good golf. Oh yeah. I think like they all put it within like 10 feet of the hole on the 17 green. That just the one really young group that's all playing together with Morikawa and all them. Yeah, they seem to be playing really good golf. Not only in this event in general, like Morikawa, Scotty, they're all playing great. I mean, Cory Connors, definitely a young guy. Victor Hovland, all these guys are playing fantastic. I mean, if you look at them, they're all pretty much tied T7 right now, 4 under. All those names that I just mentioned. Cameron Champ to an extent. So yeah, a lot of these guys are playing really good. You have that young Morikawa group right now that is just matching each other at this point pretty much. Morikawa, Scotty Scheffler, they're really fun to watch. Hovland, obviously really fun to watch. Puerto Rican Open winner pretty seriously. Or pretty recently, seriously. I was reading what Russell said. I think whoever merges video game world with the DFS world is going to make a lot of money. Yeah, I think that's what esports is, though, isn't it? Like Russell Graves, I think, right? Like merging the video game world with DFS, just esports. I feel like that's what it is. I've never watched a single esport event. I do not hate on it at all. I think it's actually a very wild and awesome career. But maybe I'll look at it a little bit more over this time. You only get finishing position points for round 4 Showdown, just a heads up. Correct. The Showdown use finishing position points. I thought that was just for Sunday. Yeah, that's Sunday. So Sunday's event's already up. So I have Sunday's event up over here. So that's what I was looking at when I was looking at the scoring. Sunday's Showdown's already up, which is pretty crazy. I don't know why. I get logged out every single time I open up Draftkings or FanDuel. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so Sunday, damn, I'm assuming it's the players, but I'm assuming they changed prize pools for this Sunday slate because it wasn't open a couple hours ago. $200,000 to first for Sunday. We'll definitely have content for that. That's crazy. That's wild. Whew. Yeah, so there's like no chance that, like, if you were going into Sunday, Hideki becomes an option at the price point with finishing points. There's no chance I'm playing Hideki tomorrow on this Showdown slate. There's 0% chance. I would have 0% Hideki. And if people want to own him at like a 20% clip because he's in first by 2 strokes, that's fine. But he is not going to putt the way he did that often, and rare that he does back-to-back. Man, I missed DFS today. Yeah, best round of the day. That's what I meant. Thanks, Steve. How about DFS Ring of Honor Wrestling? That's a thing? DFS Ultimate Frisbee. All right, now I know it's not a thing. NASCAR, half the field is drunk redneck fish playing for fun. Sounds pretty fun. Same here. I'm not even playing golf, but I'm watching the video because it's part of my daily routine for a number of years now. My videos for a number of years now? So you've been here since the OG? Coping zone, respect. You might want to trademark that phrase. This is the coping zone. We're here right now. I don't know if anybody's in the chat on YouTube, on Twitch, on Sportscaster, and you just found me for the first time today, your head must be blown away. Like, what's going on here? But if you did, let us know in the chat right now. I'm very actually interested to see if anybody in here actually like just found us today. That'd be pretty wild. I think that'd be pretty wild. Yeah, Sal. Yeah, man. Sal's coping zone. Oh, that's great. I think I'm gonna post that right now. I'm gonna post that right now to Twitter. I'm gonna post a link to this here live stream. I don't like that. I don't know why this third party that I've been using, it doesn't put the thumbnail on my live streams. Makes it a little bit annoying. I'm gonna post that right now. That's funny. I like the coping zone. We might have to. Man, the poor XFL. All right, give me this. All right, here we go. Bang. DFS coping zone happening. This is great. DFS coping zone happening now. Round 2. That's funny. Sorry if you're commenting now. I'm gonna look at them all. DFS coping zone happening. We'll call it Sal's. Sal's DFS coping. Is that how you spell coping? Or is it 2-piece? I think it's 1, right? That's copying for 2. All right. What does it mean to cope? There we go. Let's post it. Bang. I got to make sure to go back and watch a lot of round 1. I caught a good amount of it. The coverage was really fantastic. We ended up getting what? Like round one, I was looking at stuff for it. What was it? Like a couple of people didn't finish like 17 or something, or 18. I withdrew my bankroll today from Draftkings. That's smart. If you don't plan on playing it, you might as well get it out of there. I usually always withdraw my bankroll. I know people who leave like all of it in there. You saw what happened today. Today was unexpected. Well, before yesterday, today was unexpected and wild, and you never know. So I'm not a doomsdayer, but I always take any large amounts of money out of Draftkings. I'll leave like a few thousand in there at most, but not much more than that. Sal, you're right, but golf was actually fun to watch today because I played, but it's not over yet. I'm kind of confused about that one. Yeah, like it. So golf, if you played the Showdown, they suspended round one. So like it got dark, so it's like almost over. I think there's like 3 guys in the course who have to finish. Like one grouping has to finish the final hole or something. But yeah, so they got to finish that round in the morning. I'm assuming tomorrow it says they're going to resume at 9 a.m. Round 2 will begin as scheduled. I like the name of that. That's funny. Sal's DFS coping zone. Yeah, if you are somehow new in here, be sure to get in here. Help us, Sal. My wife has taken over the TV. I need to know your early interest on whether they're going to love it or list it. Also, is there DFS for forensic films? This man be wildin' over here. Yo, people are wildin' if they don't have their sports right now. Damn, Villid. How do you pronounce that? Viled, I believe it is. Love you, Sal. Can't wait till NBA comes back. Donates $2 to the stream. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that more than ever now. More than ever with the uncertainty of the next month to 2 months of being a content creator. Nah, man, it's all love. I got the emergency fund funded. We'll be good unless doomsday really does strike, and then it's all hell breaks loose for everybody. But thank you, Viled. I really do like that. Love your grind, man. Much respect. Wish nothing but the best for you going forward. Appreciate that, A. Crockett. Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, and the goal is to just keep grinding, right? I mean, this is my job. I have a ton of hours in the day, and now not having to do NBA projections and research for that in the mornings, it's going to carry over into more PGA content. It's going to carry over into more MLB prep content from the YouTube perspective. Same things can be expected over on Patreon in the more detailed and in-depth way. So, yeah, and even more just analytical way. So, yeah. So, for round 2, is it smart or stupid to pick all current top 10 guys? I don't want to use the word stupid because it's not dumb, right? They're playing well, but I think looking into why those guys are playing well, if you have access to any of the round 1 stats, like Hideki is number 1 right now. I don't want him tomorrow. He was really good with his irons and tee to green like he normally is, but he was also had one of the best rounds of his recent memory in a very long time putting for Hideki, and that usually doesn't stick. So although Hideki is playing fantastic and he can easily be one of your top 6 golfers at that price point, if I'm playing 150 lineups, I'm having Hideki. If I'm playing 1 to 5 lineups, I might just fade him. Hey, can I ask who you would fade? Or hey, can I ask if you would fade Rory in one of your lineups? Yeah, let me pull up exactly what Rory was doing out there today. So we got this right now. Damn, Rory's even right now. Rory was brutal. I mean, I'm just looking at this right now. Rory was really brutal. Holy cow! I mean, the guy's obviously on the verge of making the cut, but you have a whole day, and this is what he does. Like, Rory will go out there, shoot even. He'll shoot 5 under tomorrow. He'll be in, like, 7th place. But, yeah, Rory, I'm okay playing Rory at 10,900. Not a lot of people are going to play him because of where he currently sits, and we know Rory can get absolutely scorching hot. What you saw today was not great, though. He finished 125th around the green. He finished outside the top 100 tee to green and off the tee. You never see that. Rory is a top 5 off the tee player, if not one of the best, if not the best in the world right now with Bryson. So that's pretty crazy. It helps, Sal, if you unsubscribe and then resubscribe and unlike and relike. Russell says. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the podcast versions on that. So that was my thinking, that if you unsubscribe from the podcast, I don't know how it works for YouTube. So I guess just stay subscribed. But on the podcast, it used to be that if you unsubscribe and resubscribe, it counts as like a new subscriber, and people push that. But when I had people unsubscribing and resubscribing, it actually put me down in the rankings. So I don't know if they noticed it, and like you get penalized for it. But it could also just be me assuming that was the case. But yeah, end of the day, hit the subscribe button. If we can get to 20,000 subscribers during this hiatus of what is American sports, I think that might be crazier than the whole thing happening in the first place. Are you concerned for your income, or are you always smug and have backup plans? I don't know. Oh, is my phone about to die? That can't be. No, we good. So I don't know how you have a backup plan for this. Like, I'm not going to be completely out here talking about my finances, but this does bring in good money, and it was bringing in more than my master's degree from college would have brought in, and potentially, depending on the job, a multiple of that. So, yeah, it brings in good money, but it all falls apart if you have no sports and if you stop producing content. So I'm not going to stop producing content because I love it, and you still have some sports out there, especially PGA, which I cover in good depth, and hopefully it doesn't go away like some people are suspecting it might, but they came out with an announcement that they're going to play for the next month. We'll see how it goes. At least the next month. So in terms of my income, I'm not going to talk about my personal finances all that much. Yeah, earlier today, there's definitely worries when every single sport starts to shut down, and it's just a matter of adjusting at that point. There's going to be a lot of people in the DFS industry that aren't able to adjust, and it's going to fall behind. The people that go on head first and adjust and are fine, or at least are attempting to be fine, will be fine. So concerns around my income. Yeah, there's concerns around the income in terms of losing potential sponsors if they're not filling their contests like Fantasy Draft, Drafters, and Super Draft. Like Super Draft is not going to offer contests right now. I'm on an affiliate deal with them, not on a paid for deal, so that's fine anyway. But yeah, it's there are concerns. Do I think I hit zero? No. And also, I mean, I have months of emergency funds in place for this stuff, so I'll be okay. Everyone is going to bet golf, no other sport. I hope so. I hope golf stays around. PATRON should give you the edge this week in PGA against a lot of people who have never played DFS. I agree. Next week's Patreon will be even more than it is now. There will be there will be rankings in tiers in the GPPs, and then there will also be Showdown content as well. I think NASCAR is still a go. Playing DFS with NASCAR doesn't make it fun to watch. Doesn't make it fun to watch? Does. Not does. Okay, so does make fun. Yeah, I played NASCAR like 3 times. I'll be honest with you. I don't know much about it. It has to seem straightforward, I would imagine. Golf is still on. As of right now, yes, they made an announcement to Tour that they're going to play without fans for the next month leading up to the Masters, and then they'll make a decision from there on having fans or not. Sal, didn't you say you were taking Hatton 50-1 last week? I sure did. Yes, sir. I took Hatton 50-1 last week. Back-to-back. We've had back-to-back winners. A lot of people are doing successful right now, all over the place. Pat Mayo, Jeff Feinberg, everybody's hitting bets left and right at this point. And Jeff's hit like 3 in a row. But yeah, Pat's hit 2 in a row as well. Obviously Sanjay the week before. So was on Sanjay. Sadly, Patrick Reed boat raced my Bryson ticket, but yeah, we're doing good in the golf betting landscape. DFS has been fine as well. Much better in golf though. I have had 3 outright winners now. That's awesome, man. Who's your go-to minus 7K range guy for tomorrow? Yeah, the go-to's like a hard one, I guess you can say for that. But I'll definitely come through for you. Hold on. We'll talk about some minus 7K guys. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to bank on Siwoo Kim going absolutely elite with the ball striking and the irons to finish in second place right now. Saw the guy just going back-to-back birdies like nonstop. So, Christian Busenhout, I'm not going to say properly with the accent there, but tied for second as well. And these guys are below 7K right now for this slate. That's where they're finished right now. But I'm not banking on them to have some of their best rounds. But I do think that there's some interesting names, at least. The below 7K range is obviously, it's still pretty loaded. You saw Cory Connors at 6,800 have a really hot round. You're always concerned with the putter. He had an average putting day. He looked okay. Somebody who's not going to have as much hype because he's just not an exciting player. He finished 22nd, Martin Laird. So he finished top 10 in ball striking today. He was pretty strong everywhere else. The around the green game is the thing that kind of held him down. Seems like a shaky player, though, if you're just trying to bank on him to really win you something tomorrow. But, yeah, I think guys like Cory Connors stand out the most below 7K. Finishing position might jump a lot more people onto him. If you think Tommy Hogue has a decent round putting, he's always somebody to be getting to. A lot of these guys don't stand out all that much to me, though. A lot of them were already priced up. Like, you have Poulter and Kisner at that bottom of the 7K range that I think look okay. More so Poulter, though. I think Poulter's a pretty sneaky play tomorrow. But yeah, I haven't taken like the deepest of dive at this whole below 7K range yet. That's probably the last I've looked at it, but we have it right here with the current prices, all these guys. I'm here to cope through all this BS, somebody says. Golf, the struggle is real. Time to start robbing some people. Oh my God. No, man, I've been covering golf all year, my guy. Golf, all capital letters. I know nothing about golf, but we'll give it a shot and play 10 and 25 cents based on your video since my daily routine has been rudely interrupted. Very fair. Very fair. Welcome. We are all here to cope together. Welcome. Ooh. Cop and a cope. I'm so far behind on these comments, I think. Let's see what we got. Who are the top 5 guys you're looking at tomorrow? Yeah, way too soon for me. Like, so since this Showdown slate came out, like, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, and I was just putting it together. Like, top 5 guys for me tomorrow is probably way too soon for me to have a strict top 5. Later tonight, I'll probably be breaking down a lot more. But guys that I'll be looking at that are just nowhere near where a lot of people are, at least right now on them, relative to just looking at overall, like, where their play was today, relative to where they finished. If you're talking about approach play, if you're talking about guys that were pretty good all around, but then were pretty bad with the putter, ball striking, if that was on today, all that type of stuff. I think that Lucas Glover actually looked pretty solid. It's scary though. Billy Horschel is a guy that I'll probably get to though. Billy Horschel at 7,500. He's one under right now. He's in 63rd place. Had a terrible round putting. If you get a bad Billy Horschel round putting, if you get a bad round putting out of anybody, you're not going to win tomorrow probably, unless they're really cheap. Billy Horschel was solid. Pretty much all in other spots that matter. Approach, pretty solid in his ball striking, and then the thing that let him down was a short game. So Billy Horschel is probably somebody that I'll go back to. Had him in the 4-day too, so that'll kind of help a little bit there. What happened with Woodland today? Yeah, I'll look at his exacto stats right here for you today. Everything happened for Woodland today. 2 over through, 1 so far. He was decent on approach, and by decent I mean exactly average, but everything blew up. Woodland loses 1.6 off the tee, so just a bad round. 1.6 strokes off the tee for Woodland. Loses over a stroke putting, loses over a stroke ball striking, loses a stroke and a half tee to green. Sheesh, it was just a bad round. He gained a half a stroke on approach. Yikes. Can you go over how Showdown works? Yeah, so pretty much what Showdown is it's just the 1 day for golf, as always. What you're going to get points for is just at this point mainly just your birdies. If you're just the top scorer of the day, you'll see a high score of the day, whatever it is. You'll see a bonus as well. So it's just normal for the Showdowns on these days, though. Like if it's your Sunday round, you get the points for positioning. For these, it'll just be your normal Draftkings scoring. If you get an eagle, you get your 11 points. If you get a birdie, you get your 5.5 or your 5.75 points. Bogey, you're losing. Par, 1.5, things like that. I believe they have the bogey-free round. I believe that they have the streak bonus too as well for the Showdowns. Did round 2 already? No way. Am I looking at the right contest? All right, so we got the $200,000 Sunday one. I could have sworn Osmo posted something about $100,000 to first for the second Showdown. Did that already fill? That'd be wild if that filled. That'd be the thirst of this world right now if that filled. Showdown PGA contest tomorrow appealing now with $100,000 prize pool. Okay, so that's this one. I thought he said to first. I was like, this is just $100,000 total. Rory will bounce back tomorrow. He plays in the morning where weather won't be as bad. Yeah, Rory's like the stereotypical guy that if you can fit him into these lineups, and he's much cheaper now than he would be on the main slate, he's at even. What do you just feel? What do you just think that Rory is going to miss the cut where he is right now? I don't think so. I mean, I think Rory's going to go shoot 5 under tomorrow and be in like 15th place or something. Go to the gym, read a book, watch a documentary. There's so much to do in the box score. Watch for Please get this disease out of here. This is the worst. Thanks for this, Sal. No problem, man. Yeah, we're going to cope. We're going to cope a couple times a week, maybe. Hama played good today. My boy Max Hama. Hama. How do you guys say it? Yeah. He's. It's interesting because like he's T37, but so many guys are in the same exact spot right now, 2 under or 1 under. But yeah, Homa keeps playing pretty solid. It's interesting though because his game was pretty bad everywhere else, and his short game really held up for him. His short game's been pretty solid though, just this year. But the game was not that great in a lot of other places. So although he's 6,600 right now, same price that he was to start today, I don't know if I really want to go back to him. You had the good round out of him at a putting, top 20. That's really what kept him into it. You could also take the other end of that and say he's not going to finish as one of the worst off the tee and ball strikers in the field. Like he's just not going to do that moving forward. So I guess I'm pretty neutral on him for this slate. Sal, is it time for NASCAR? Sal MMA. I don't know, man. I don't know. If golf somehow gets canceled tomorrow, would DK still pay out the winner for the golf contests that are going on? Probably. They'll probably do what they did for NBA the other night. Can you dive into Hatton and Bryson for Showdown tomorrow? Man, Bryson be what, the highest owned golfer in the entire field? Yeah, so Hatton and Golfin. So Bryson right now, pretty strong round, is off the tee game, which is something that you're not going to. One, we did not expect him to struggle off the tee, and not in a major way. He lost like a half a stroke off the tee. It was his worst performance this year off the tee, and this is currently where he's struggled the most through one round. So I think Bryson's a really strong play. I think Bryson at 9,200 I would much rather have than Hideki. What you got out of Bryson was a bad round of putting and a bad off the tee game. Bryson is a good long-term putter, and he's been elite, if not the best, right there with Rory this year and off the tee. It's been something that was widely talked about this week heading into it. So if everything else looked pretty solid and he still finished 2 under, like he's still just, yes, he's 7 shots off the lead, but we don't need him to win the whole damn thing for the Showdown. Yeah, I think Bryson's in a pretty good spot here. Hatton is somebody that continues to just play well. Currently 3 under, playing well really everywhere, and average to well, I guess you can say. Like he's just been solid everywhere. He's not standing out anywhere. So I'd be more on Bryson for the upside there. The fact that Hatton's also 3 under and a little bit higher in the placing might get people a little bit more on Hatton, especially since he's probably the guy in the 7K range that stands out the most to a lot of people at this point. It's just nuts to me how good Morikawa is. Like Morikawa, Hatton probably stand out the most for people in that range. Crazy. Scotty Scheffler, 7,500. These guys are just elite right now. Sal personally helped me take down 4 single entry DK GPPs in 10 days last November. Wow. $40, $12, and $5. I've been watching you for at least a year and a half, maybe longer. Appreciate you, man. Congrats on those. I'm sure you reached out at the time. Hey, Sal, what are you going to do now that the many of major sports are canceled? Yeah, so PGA is going to be the number 1 for me right now. Hopefully it survives. But then MLB Prep will be happening on Patreon and YouTube, PGA on both as well. And then NBA, taking a look at these teams where they currently stand, will be something I also do on Patreon. So what's going to be happening right now on YouTube is MLB Prep as well as PGA. And then I want to experiment with some other things. I don't know if I want to do some off the beaten path NBA stuff. Strategy stuff never usually does well, but I do want to experiment with some other things. We'll see maybe some more general sports betting videos, but yeah, probably PGA and MLB. And like it's not the end of time, right? Hopefully it's not. Like people keep saying this is going to get better or get worse. Hopefully it's not something that lasts 3 months for these sports. But if it only lasts a month, I mean, we're here a month from now like that, and it's pretty quick. So Masters will be approaching, it'll be pretty fun. Sal keeps it real, unlike the Pretenders video. I don't know what the Pretenders is. What is that? I've been making money with Sal since his videos in the car. Oh my God, Chase. Man, you're wild. I made a video. My first ever NBA DFS video was on Christmas 2 years ago, or 2.5 years, a little over 2 years ago now at this point. And yeah, you can go back and watch it. I was in a car. First ever NBA DFS, because everybody in my house was sleeping and they were sleeping everywhere in the house, and I couldn't make a video in the house. So I had to go on my hotspot on the car and record it. Is Rory in jeopardy of not making the cut in your opinion? Yeah, he is. I mean, he's currently outside the cut number, but it's by what, 1 stroke at this point because everybody's so tight in there. So, I mean, I bet on Rory out of everybody in that kind of miscut range right now. But yeah, he's definitely in jeopardy of missing the cut. The good news for him is that he's 1 stroke currently off the cut line. So, yeah, he's in jeopardy, but I would bank on Rory making the cut compared to not making the cut. Very disappointed in the XFL. They could have had games without fans. I think they could as well. It's just a really tough spot for a new league. Obviously, you do what you did today. You pay out the players. It's a good look. You come back next year, hopefully stronger. But it's not great to not finish out your first year and really see how the numbers would have kept going as the year went on from a rating standpoint. But man, it's not a situation that was going to be good either way. Like if they end up making the players play and one person ends up getting sick and spreads it to anybody else on the teams, they're done. They're shot PR wise. Same thing for the PGA Tour right now if that happens. Kyle says, Sal, grinding when most taking some time off. Keep it up, bro. Yeah, man, it's a thing for survival. I watched Colin Cowherd, a documentary with The Athletic. They asked him why he is, and you could have your opinions on Colin Cowherd. Yes, I don't think the guy's takes are good, but I think he knows they're not good. He's a person that gets you into them. He presents himself very well. He captivates you. Similar to these Stephen A. Smiths, right? The Skip Baylesses, Shannon. Like these guys, their takes are not incredible. Sometimes they're great, like anybody else, but they're just good at keeping your attention. They're good performers at that point for their jobs. But yeah, Colin Cowherd he did a very good interview with The Athletic, saying that would love to meet the man. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, in the biz, in my opinion, from a professionalism and presentation standpoint. But yeah, he said that it's a survival thing. Like, he continues, even though he's at like the top of the media game right now with the Stephen A. Smiths. He's like, it's just survival for me at this point. Like, he's always worried about something like today happening. So I like to actually hear his thoughts on that. Yo, the way Sal just said that Rory is a lock, man. Yeah, Rory is. I can't see Rory missing this cut. He is a one off the cut line with a whole day of golf tomorrow. And guys ahead of him are Zach Johnson, Vaughn Taylor, Reevy, JT Poston, Aaron Baddeley, Mackenzie Hughes, Bud Cauley, right? Bryce Garnett. I think he'll be good. Sal, our boy Colin Morikawa. Man, I've been playing, and everybody has been playing Colin Morikawa everywhere. He's been the chalk for every single contest he's been in this year. This kid's a damn electric factory. Happy to see Scotty Scheffler up there as well. Happy to see Victor Hovland up there. Scheffler's the guy I have the most of relative to the field for the main thing, so I'm okay with that. In 2 to 3 months, this virus won't even be a thought. I hope so. I'm worried that it might be, but I hope it's not, for everybody's sake. I really like Koepka. Yeah, Brooks played pretty decent today. His around the green game and his putting was not great. That's what's been his concern since he's gotten, probably his biggest concern since he's really gotten recovery from this injury. So, but Brooks looked pretty strong with his ball striking. I'd prefer Xander. Same reasons as Brooks is why he struggled today is with the putter in the short game. Also been a problem for Xander this year. It's just preferring his upside right now at a cheaper price point. Why don't I have... Why did they not pull over? What is happening? DJ and my boy Brooks. There we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd probably prefer Xander for $400 more, but hard not to like the price point. I feel bad for the great folks at ESPN. Maybe. They're going to keep producing content. Great show. I have 197 in the player at the moment. 197 people are watching this, you mean? Or you have $197 you're winning? Wasn't DK's fault. You played Middleton, somebody said. Will you, Josh, and Lawfully be doing any podcasts together? I would love to. I doubt they're watching, but you can tweet them. You can tweet them and tell them, let's do some podcasts. Look, I want to do as much content as I can. And that also means doing content for Awesemo if they want to have me on. I'll probably be doing the Monday show as well now. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing the NBA and the XFL shows. So less Awesemo shows for me as of right now during this. And that's just going to be status quo for everybody. But yeah, Lofty and Josh did one today with Ben. I thought it was really enjoyable. I thought it was really nice to keep having that in your routine or at least seeing familiar faces. So yeah, I would love to do that. Somebody tweeted at me, Lofty and Josh, and thought that I was on there today. But Lofty said that we can maybe do one together. So I'm definitely down to do one. If you want to see me on a podcast with Josh and Lofty, just talking about anything, yeah, let them know. Sal, you're nervous about the coronavirus. Luckily, I am not in the at-risk age group. I'm not a doctor, though. I am not going to puff out my chest and say, it's not real. Look, this thing is real, man. I'm not jumping up and down scared, but when 18 to 20% of people over the age of 75 are dying from this, and you can say what you want and not care because you're not 75 or older, but I mean, it's just pretty cruel to not think that matters. And I mean, that's why these events are getting canceled. You go, somebody coughs on you, somebody just touches you at an event, you go home and you hug your grandmother and she's 85 and now she has corona and she's got a 1 in 5 chance of living, and that's pretty scary. But I do think that there's not a lot of reported cases right now, so the death rate is probably higher than it should be, but I'm, again, not a doctor, so I think it should be taken more serious than it has been, but I think it's quickly becoming more serious for a lot of people, including myself. NBA already said it's going to be 30 days before they think about playing again. Yeah, in 30 days they're going to reassess. So hopefully they reassess in 30 days and they're like, yep, at the end of the day we'll be good to go. I thought XFL was going to continue. Yeah, I thought so too. Luckily we still have the WNBA. Yeah, WNBA is going to have a weird season this year because of the Olympics. They're going to have like a midway month break. It's really weird. No WNBA during the Summer Olympics. No, there's WNBA. It's just... the WNBA season is going on. They just take a 1 month hiatus during the season and then they finish it up after the season. Somebody said Summer Olympics. You really think they're going to have the Summer Olympics? True. DraftKings gave me $444 because I won a ticket to the online NHL championship they put in my account because it's not going to be played. Wow, they just gave you like 444 site credit to anywhere? That's really good. I remember when Skip Bayless was a reporter on the San Jose Mercury. Wow. Sal, did you stock up on toilet paper and everything else? Yeah, I got up at truth be told, I did not go to bed last night, so I am very wired from a lot of caffeine today. But I laid in bed for 3 hours on my phone and then just got up at 4. I couldn't sleep when the NBA shuts down, and that is one of my 2 biggest streams of content at this point. Yeah, I'm just going to be thinking nonstop on how to get out ahead of this thing before other people start to get out ahead of it next week. So yeah, I was up and I went to Walmart around 5:30 in the morning, and I do not advise anybody to go to Walmart around 5:30 in the morning. Look, I don't think bad of any single person. Just the entire environment of Walmart at 5:30 in the morning, weird. And there was barely any toilet paper there, but I got the essentials that I needed for now. Everywhere's sold out of hand sanitizer, so we'll see how that goes. How much freaking toilet paper do you use a month? 2 to 3 rolls? I ended up getting a 12-pack of toilet paper, 12-pack of paper towels. I just picked up what was there. Why are people stocking up on toilet paper? Think about it. Yeah, I think this is the biggest craze, but there really wasn't toilet paper on the shelves. So I had no more toilet paper. I needed to go get toilet paper. But yeah. Bruins Stanley Cup champions. I am a Bruins fan. I'm a Boston Bruins fan. I'm a New York Yankees fan, and I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. Wonder what they're going to do with the live finals. FanDuel this week and DK next week. Yeah, I would imagine they play them remotely. No more DFS and flipping toilet paper. Can you order toilet paper on Amazon? I'm not sure. All right, gang. I've been doing this for like an hour. I think I'm going to peace out. Hopefully this helped you. Moving forward, these will be much more crisp and much more detailed. But this was me just trying to pop it up, talk about the Showdown slate tomorrow, talk about any things that stood out a lot, and go from there. Favorite Yankee of all time. It's a cheat code, but Derek Jeter. Favorite Yankee currently. That's really hard with just the way that this team is kind of really all gone around. My favorite current Yankee. That's really hard. Maybe Aaron Hicks if the man can stay healthy. Maybe Aaron Hicks. I mean, I love Torres as well, but I don't think he's going to repeat the year that he did last year. I miss who's your favorite play? Aaron Rodgers. We'll get back to that soon. Don't worry. All right, gang. Hey, end of the day, I do this for a living. I appreciate everybody's support, even during these wild times. It's 4 to 6 weeks, right? That's a time frame that we got to think about, and we got to think about it a day at a time. So hopefully everybody is safe, is secure, is financially secure and safe. Make sure everything is okay with your families. I appreciate every single one of you that is continuing to support me here on Twitch, YouTube, and Sportscaster. I appreciate all of you that continue and want to support me over on Patreon. So the content's not going to stop. The value will continue to be there. It just will not be in the form of NBA projections right now and things like that because, well, I can't do that right now. There's no league. So wild to even say that. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Do you think English will end up in the top 10? Tomorrow, do I think English will end up in the top 10? I mean, if I had a bet on that, no. I'll say no just because I don't think it's like in overall finishing position. Yeah, I think it's pretty likely that he ends up in the top 10 as he's second right now. If you're talking about like top 10 of fantasy scores for tomorrow, I would hedge against that one at least because I think he'll be higher owned. Thanks for the hour. No problem, guys. Like the video, people. Yeah, everybody like the video before you go. If you're new here or you just usually stumble upon my content, now more than ever, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated. If you do want to support me during this time, and there'll be a lot of content, a lot of PGA content as well, over the next month and for the foreseeable future, but this next period of no leagues, over on Patreon, you can support me over there. And then also Drafters did sponsor this live stream, drafters.com. They do have PGA contests. That's why I put them on here. If you want a 100% deposit match up to $50 for DFS online snake drafts and rank 'em formats, you can go to drafters.com, use the promo code SAL100. All right, everybody, enjoy your nights. Enjoy your night. Stay safe and great start to the weekend in the morning. Peace out, gang. Peace out, gang. Thank you.